He's Ladainian Tomlinson, NFL Network, and future Hall of Famer. I think he owes me his Minnesota Vikings jersey. Hey, when are you sending it to me? Didn't you promise me your Vikings jersey?
It's still packed up, Dan. I mean, I'm moving all over the place. I'm moving from house to house. Give me some time here.
You're better than that, LT. Do you think Alabama could give an NFL team a game?
I think so, especially last year's team. This year's team, I don't know. They got some young guys on defense that they're still working into the fold. I don't think realistically, maybe not this year's team, but definitely last year's team will be able to.
Yeah, that defense, you got Trent Richardson in there. But I go back to, remember that Miami team, the Miami Hurricanes, where they had all of those first-round draft picks? That team could probably have been competitive with an NFL team.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with all the speed that they had. Remember all the speed they had on that team, both defensively and on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered a lot, if they could, in fact, compete with an NFL team. Because you're right, they had so many first-round draft picks on that team. Why not?
All right, let me ask you a couple of things about former teams. Let me start with the Jets here. And correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that there was a quote attributed to you where you talked to somebody in the locker room with the Jets that maybe Mark Sanchez's time as a starter is starting to dwindle. Am I paraphrasing correctly?
Well, it wasn't necessarily a player saying that. I was reading into everything that was going on. I talked to players, and knowing Rex Ryan like I know him, and knowing what he's saying to the team, and then what he says to the media, I was starting to read between the lines that, hey, if this continues, then I can see them possibly going to Tim Tebow, because that's what they brought him in there for, is to add a spark if things wasn't going right. And so I can very well still, they're 3-5 at the halfway point of the season. I can still say that if they don't win the next game or two, then Dan, if you're 3-6 or 3-7,
yep.
What do you got to lose? You have to put Tim Tebow in.
Well, you brought him in. Did you just bring him in for publicity? If you brought him in because you thought he could play and make a difference, then it's time to play him. If not, and I don't think they feel like he can make a difference, I think they brought him in just to get publicity because the Giants just won the Super Bowl. And let's face it, they got a lot of publicity by bringing in Tim Tebow.
Yeah, they did. But here's my thing. If you're Mike Tannenbaum making that decision, do you not talk to Tony Sparano to see how exactly you're going to use this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like he just made a decision before even talking to the offense coordinator, and now they don't know how to use Tim Tebow. It's really unbelievable, the disconnect in that organization right now.
It is. It's been a circus. I said that from the outset, and it's proven to be just that. But if you're Rex Ryan, I'm going to make you Rex Ryan. You got a bye week now. Who is your starting quarterback next game?
Mark Sanchez is my starting quarterback.
Right.
He's my starting quarterback. But at the same time, you best believe that I'm going to find a way to get Tim Tebow on the field. You have to play your best players. And Tim Tebow is still one of their best players on the offensive side of the ball. No matter how you get him in the game, you have to give him a series of 2 in the first half, a series of 2 in the second half, something. He has to be able to touch the ball because he can make plays for your team.
All right, you're running the Chargers now. You making any moves, any changes right now?
Right now, no. Right now, I don't panic if I'm the Chargers. I'll just continue to stay the course, give them a chance, to pull out of this hole that they're in.
Let's say they don't make the playoffs.
Absolutely, I'm making changes.
Norv Turner not there?
No.
Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers, yes. He's going to be there. He's the franchise quarterback. We paid him a lot of money. We still believe in his talent. But at this point, that relationship hasn't worked with Norv Turner.
So if they don't make the playoffs, you see Norv gone?
As well as A.J., yes.
Yeah, A.J. Smith, the general manager. Would you rather have Tony Romo or Phillip Rivers?
I'm biased. I'll say Phillip Rivers because I played with him. I know the heart that Phillip Rivers plays.
But what's missing
with,
there,
the toughness.
LT? What's missing there? There's something missing with Romo, with some of these quarterbacks that just something is not there.
Well, see, here's the thing, Dan, and I think we get caught up sometime in some of the excellent quarterback play that we have seen from guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. These guys that can direct the offense, and you really don't need a run game to win games, if you know what I mean. Where everybody else, all the other quarterbacks, you have to have people around them. You have to have a good running game. You have to have a defense, or they're going to be inconsistent. And that's what we're seeing from a lot of the other quarterbacks, Tony Romo, Phillip Rivers. These guys need other people, or they're going to be inconsistent. They cannot have all the pressure on them as Peyton Manning does and Aaron Rodgers. They can't handle that.
Hey, just want to say, I know it's a big jump from playing to going in to being a broadcaster. I know it looks easy, and a lot of guys think they can do it. You've made great strides in being an analyst, and I wanted to have you on to be able to say that and say it to you publicly as well.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. You're right. It's not easy, trying to communicate to the fans what you have learned over the years and make it easy for them to understand. But, it's a work in progress for me. I enjoy doing it, and certainly, hopefully one day I get to your level.
Wow.
Where I'm hosting Sunday Night Football.
All right. Well, you complimented me. I appreciate that. That's the way it should be. I compliment you, and then you compliment me.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, good to talk to you again. And once again, once you guys get settled and you unpack everything, the jersey you were going to get if you had gone to the Vikings, I thought that's going to be mine.
Yeah, I kind of did give you the raw deal there. I kind of was an Indian giver. Somewhat.
And what did I tell you? You would go back to San Diego and you would sign a one-day contract to retire Charger. I told you how this was all going to play out.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Of course.
So,
you were right.
At least let us hang up that Viking jersey. I got Jared Allen coming up here in about 20 minutes. I mean, it'd be kind of nice for me to say, hey, I got LT's Viking jersey.
Yeah, that would be something.
Hey, good to talk to you.
You too, Dan.
All right, buddy. That's Ladainian Tomlinson. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, it's First on the Field. Melissa Stark, Sterling Sharp, Mike Lombardi, NFL Network's expanded 13-game Thursday night football schedule continues this week. Chargers, Chiefs, 8 Eastern.